Hi, I'm Signe Erickson. I'm an upledger instructor and ombudsman for the CranioSacral dissection class. This wonderful and fairly unique class is quite special, in particular because we get to use fresh tissue. That means that has not been embalmed with assorted chemicals. One student described the difference between fresh tissue and embalmed tissue as the difference between dissecting a raw turkey versus an overcooked turkey. If you can imagine that, you can imagine that the colors and the textures and the consistencies are all very different in the fresh tissue. The class is 2.5 days long, which may not seem like very much, but it's really kind of a compressed experience. Students report that over the following weeks and months that the experience tends to continue to decompress and become more apparent. We usually have a full cadaver as well as 2 heads. One of the heads is cut almost midline at a parasagittal plane, and the other one is cut in a more traditional calvarium cut. And this gives us the opportunity to look at different structures in the head from different perspectives. Since it is a craniosacral course, the emphasis is on the cranium, the spine, the sacrum, and the structures within, in particular the intracranial membranes and the dural tube. You also get a chance to palpate tensions on those membranes while a classmate might maybe turn an ankle or push on the liver or something like that, and you can be blindfolded and feel tensions shift in the dura. We also have the time on the last day for a quick tour through the viscera of the chest, the abdomen, and the pelvis. And in addition, that gives us an opportunity to look at the various fascial diaphragms that we work with in craniosacral therapy. And then we have the arms and legs, the extremities, and other structures in the head as well. So there's lots of opportunity to get into what I call special projects. Perhaps you've had a knee surgery and you're very intrigued. You'd like to look deeper into the anatomy of the knee. Maybe you and several others want to dissect a knee or 2 and take a look at those structures. The class has 2 very strong foundations. One is that of respect, utmost respect, in particular to the tissue that we're working with, but for all of us as well. And the other is safety. We have safety discussions. We continually look out for each other in regards to safe and perhaps unsafe activities, and you'll learn how to dissect safely if you'd like to. This class is suitable for students with any level of dissection experience, including none. It's fascinating to me how every cadaver reveals its structures differently. I've been involved in many hours of cadaver lab, both fresh and embalmed, and it's different each time, and I always learn something. As a student, you get the opportunity to choose your level of engagement in terms of what you're actually doing and what kinds of things you want to do. If you want to dissect, you'll have the opportunity to do that, but nobody is required to dissect. There's plenty of other things to do. Perhaps you'd be holding an anatomy book and looking up structures. There's all sorts of ways to be involved in the class without dissecting if you don't want to actually do the dissection. If this is your first time working with dissectioning of human tissue, I highly encourage you to do some prep work ahead of time on the emotional component of things. Most people find that they have some sort of process around being in a room with dead bodies and actually dissecting them, perhaps an SER session, perhaps whatever else works for you, but just pay some attention to it ahead of time. And that may well make your class time that much more effective and efficient for you. So if this sounds interesting to you, I hope to see you in class sometime, and welcome.